Okay, here in Southern California, it is 10 o'clock. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you for SCORE for setting up all these amazing resources for all of us as business owners. And their webinar program is a big part of that. And I'm really honored to be able to share this hour with you. I do see in chat, absolutely be asking questions in chat because I'm going to keep looking over to chat. It's easier for me to check chat than Q&A, so let's post our questions in chat. Just a little bit about me. If you have not taken one of my webinars before, welcome. My name is Ronnie Ramos. I am these days what's called a content creator. So everything we're talking about today, that's my wheelhouse. Photography, video, motion graphics, using ChatGPT, creating things in Canva. It's what I do every day for myself and for my clients. So if you've got questions, now's the time. Post them in chat. I would love to get you excited about all the new tools that are available and give you my best tips how to get started with them. So get ready to be amazed. Things are easier. I won't say easy because we have a lot of work to do as business owners, but the tools do make it easier. I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I'm Ronnie Ramos. And on most other social, I'm under my business name, which is Harmony 3 Productions. If you'd like my best tips on a semi-regular basis, you can scan the QR code or use the bit.ly link. You will be getting a copy of this video presentation and the slides. So happy to have you on board. I would love to connect with you. And like I said, easiest way is on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I'm Ronnie Ramos. Okay, today we're talking about really supercharging your content. And that's using two tools, Canva and ChatGPT. So both of these tools, and I will be showing you examples in the tools in a little bit, but I do use the paid version. To me, it works better in ChatGPT, but you can try the free version. I always recommend trying in any application a free or a trial version to make sure it's what you are looking for. But the examples that I'm going to be showing you, I did make in the paid versions of both of these tools. But what they do for me is it breaks through that bottleneck. A lot of times there's so much I have to do. Using these tools streamlines the process and lets me do it unbelievably faster. I use AI and design automation. When I say goodbye to the blank page, what I mean is in the past, if I had, say, a flyer to make for a client or a video to make for myself, you're starting with a blank piece of paper. You're like, what am I going to do? What am I going to write about? What am I going to make a video about? And that can be daunting because there's so many options. I use ChatGPT to get started, to help brainstorm. It's like an unlimited water tap of brainstorming. And I do call it brainstorming because I'm working with the tool, ChatGPT, to come up and refine ideas for content. Okay, so I see one question. What should you be aware of in terms of service for ChatGPT? I'm not sure what you mean by service. You might mean which level to try with. I would start with the free version, make sure that you're comfortable with the tool, and then if it's not giving you what you want, then upgrade to a paid version. Okay, as I said, goodness, say goodbye to that blank page. Using these two tools allows me to seamlessly go into content creation. And I typically do it on, a set day where I'm going to be working on a particular project so I can stay focused and just be creating. I use it for those first drafts, for blog posts, captions, video scripts. I use it for that all the time. It's my brainstorming partner. I don't take what it says word for word. I put my own experience and expertise on it, and I highly recommend you do that also because it can make mistakes, and I have had it make mistakes. So don't use it like it's just going to do your work for you. You are going to be working with it. Then once you have your content, then you can go into Canva and use some of their beautifully designed templates to really help visualize what the written content that you're getting from ChatGPT is. And it lets you just shift that focus from like, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to make that video about to, I can get this done really, really fast. All right. The other thing it allows you to do is stay on brand across every platform. In Canva, you can have a one-time setup of your brand kit. Again, this is in the pro version. You can upload your fonts and your colors and your logos into your brand, what they call brand kit, and it's always there. So you can always select from it and keep everything that you are creating on brand, matching your brand, your color, your style, your fonts. It's so important that wherever people see anything that you're creating, that it looks like you, so that they recognize you, your brand, across every platform that you're on. And having an AI guided tone, and what I mean by that is you're going to feed your brand voice, just like you feed your colors and fonts into Canva, you're going to feed your brand voice into ChatGPT. This is not your talking voice. It's the tone, how you message, how you phrase your content into ChatGPT. So what it gives you written always, again, sounds like you, but it's in written form. You can give it very custom instructions so that you're maintaining that messaging that resonates with you and your brand across all your content. Okay, I see us. Let's see. Oh, they're asking about what about the small print signing up for these things? Excellent question. I am not an attorney, but I am an advocate for my business. And you, each one of you, needs to be an advocate for your own business. And that means reading the fine print of anything that you are going to be using for your business. So, excellent point. Definitely read the fine print so you're comfortable with the tools that you are using. Let's see. Someone is saying, is it Jeannie? I'm currently using free ChatGPT and Pro Canva separately. Yes, they are separate programs. My question is, when ChatGPT is trying to generate something with Canva, it brings up a window asking to get access to use Canva. Is ChatGPT going to have access to everything I've created, or will it store that, or should I be worried? I do not give access to one to the other. I don't. I want to keep, as in this day and age, I want to keep as much possible in my different silos. So although you can give it access, again, you'd have to read the fine print to see exactly what that means, but I do not. I have both of them open at the same time, and I just copy and paste from ChatGPT into Canva, and then I work in Canva. Okay. The other thing is, if you have team members, you can keep that brand consistent. You know, if you're adding team members to your Canva account, then everybody can see the same brand kit. All right. Now, I love this part. Content in hours. Sometimes it's even minutes, not days. So I use ChatGPT to create that initial content draft, right? And it is not even minutes, it is seconds. Then when, again, I work with ChatGPT, I fine tune it, I get what I want. Then the design part, I can use Canva's Magic Design and Magic Write and their templates, which really can bring that idea to life, whether it's a post, a carousel post, or a video script. I can use the professionally created templates in Canva to make it look great using the content that I've created with ChatGPT. Then I'm the biggest fan of repurposing and reusing. In Canva, you can adapt that content, that one thing that you got that you like across all different platforms. You can make your blog post into social caption. You can make that blog post into videos, video scripts. Creating that initial, I like to start with a longer form content, and then you can break it up into so many different types of content. You can get incredible mileage out of it. I like to start with ChatGPT, either writing a long form video script or a blog post or white paper or something that has long form content. And then you can create, again, using ChatGPT, I can say, okay, now from this content, I want 12 social media posts to run for next month and 3 short video scripts from that content. So you've done the big piece. Now it's just picking little elements from it. And ChatGPT can even make new ones from that content, but it all will align with that initial content. That is absolutely how I start. Okay, so how to transform your content workflow. You can collaborate, as I said, with team members. Canva has team options in, again, your paid version. You can share your ChatGPT prompts to work together efficiently. Even by yourself with virtual assistants, you can use these tools together. Iterate rapidly. Iterate just means making more things from the original thing. And that is the best thing that I think ChatGPT can do for us. You can generate content variations in seconds. You can do A/B test with visuals without a design team, and you can make data-driven improvements. And when I say make those data-driven improvements, I mean, look at the analytics on all of your posts. And on every post, on every platform, you can see, are you getting any likes? Are you getting any, shares? Are you getting any comments? Ones that are doing well, do more like them. If you have one that is not doing anything, I would take that post, copy it, right? Copy the text. You can upload an image to ChatGPT, upload your image, upload the text, and ask ChatGPT, why am I not getting any likes on this? Do I need a better hook? Do I need a better image? And it will work with you to help brainstorm some of those actual real-time questions you're having if you're not getting great content on your post. And then you can scale your output. You can get so much high-quality content with fewer resources. The more you post these days, I hate to tell you, a lot of times the better you'll do. The algorithms like 2 things. They do like consistency and quantity. And it didn't used to be always quantity, but quantity matters now. But they mostly like value. So I think the days of a bunch of hashtags are gone. But what is very important, and ChatGPT can help you when you're writing your content, are keywords and key phrases. And those keywords and key phrases are what your audience is specifically looking for, specifically what they are typing in the search bar. That's what the algorithm is going to show them. So if your content has that specific phrase or wording that your audience is looking for, there's a better chance, there's no guarantees, that the algorithm will show your content to them because they are actually looking for it. That's why it's so important that you know your audience and what their struggles are, what their pain points are, and that you have the solution. If you are unsure, again, work with ChatGPT to figure that out. You can say, I'm in this industry. I'm looking to reach more people. I feel like my posts are not getting to my audience. Give me some keywords and key phrases that my audience, let them know what your business is. If you know who your audience is, give them a description of demographics and age, what they like to do, what their hobbies are. If you don't, you can work with ChatGPT to come up with your particular ideal audience that's looking for something that you do. Whatever that is what ChatGPT can help you make content about. All right, a couple of pro tips here for you. So making your prompts, and what you type into ChatGPT is called your prompt. So make effective prompts, because the quality of the AI output that you get directly relates to the input that you are giving. So provide clear and detailed instructions to ChatGPT for optimum results. Caveat here, I don't put any proprietary information into ChatGPT. I don't, because even though you can opt out of it, like storing your stuff and learning from, I still don't trust it. So I'm very careful. I make my queries very general, but about, for example, my business, because about my business is already on the web, right? I have a website. I'm doing webinars all the time. So none of that's proprietary. But if I was a business and I had something that wasn't out there yet, I would talk in vaguer terms. So it can still give you what you need. You might just have to fine tune it a little bit more. Okay. Uh, uh, Someone's asking about a different program to get keywords. Will better keywords be acquired? I don't know the program that you're talking about. Um, Wherever you're getting keywords that will work for your business, I think is fine. Specifically today, we're talking about ChatGPT, and that is what I use for myself and my clients. Then the next thing, so then you've got your prompt, you work with it, you fine tune, you've got your message. Then you're going to move that content to Canva, right? And you can leverage things in Canva. It has like magic design. They can make you images. ChatGPT can make you images too. And a lot of times I will use the same prompt and see which one I like better, right? That way it can translate your text into really beautiful visuals. And then review and refine. I can't stress this enough that you need to review it. You need to be on top of it. This is representing your brand. You don't want it to be wrong or be sending the wrong message. Always humanize and proofread any AI generated content because it's your unique brand voice. You've got to make sure that that stays consistent. All right. Now, you start with the ChatGPT phrase, and I just want to, let me get there. I just want to get, again, my process so that you can understand how I start. So number one, you begin in ChatGPT by defining your content goal and your audience. So you're going to tell it, I need, for example, 6 social media posts for my company. If you've been working with ChatGPT a long time, like I can just say I need 6 social media posts for my company, Harmony 350, and it knows all about me because I have been feeding everything about me to it for the last 2 years. But if you're just starting, you might be needing to, give it a little more information about you, and especially about your audience. What are their struggles? What are their demographics? Are they management? Are they blue collar? Are they white collar? Feed all of that in. And then ask it for brainstormed ideas and outlines, even initial headlines and keywords to kickstart your creative process. Because you're working with it, right? Again, you're not just taking what it says. Sometimes it gives you great stuff out of the box, but a lot of times I will definitely drill down, work more. Then you're going to generate some drafts. You're going to prompt ChatGPT to create a first draft based on this outline and these brainstormed ideas. You're going to specify the tone and the length and the key messages. So for tone, for myself, I have a very conversational tone. It's friendly, it's approachable. But what if you're working with a lot of high-level executives, you're only posting on LinkedIn, your tone would be different. You need to let ChatGPT know what that tone is. What if your audience is on TikTok? That is a totally different tone, right? But it provides that foundation for everything that you're going to generate once you have that long form content, whether it's a blog or a long written article or a longer video script. Everything is going to reflect that tone as you start to parse that out into smaller pieces. Then refine your voice, the voice of your company. Review and really edit ChatGPT's output. Sometimes it will output where it just kind of sounds robotic, and you can tell. So I go in and I will change it, and I will say, this is the tone and manner that I write. I want you to copy this tone for future writing. You can also make folders in ChatGPT. What if you want your your webinar content to sound a little bit different than you want your LinkedIn post to sound, or your Facebook posts, and you can make different folders and have the tone different in each one of those folders. Double check for the facts. I have absolutely had it make mistakes, and you are going to work to enhance that cohesiveness across everything that it's creating for you. This is where you are adding that human touch and that strategic depth that you know, because this is about your business. All right. Now, then we're going to go into the Canva phase of it. You're going to select your Canva template, and they have so many beautiful thousands and thousands of templates, perfectly aligned with your content type and brand identity, because you can customize any template in there. I start with the template that, for whatever reason, I like. I don't care if it doesn't have anything to do with my business, if the colors aren't correct. If there's something I like about it, that's the one I'm going to pick. And then I'm going to customize it so it reflects my brand, has my logo on it, and has my colors. Then they have social media templates for every platform, for presentations, infographics, whatever you want to create. Then you're going to copy your text from ChatGPT. Again, I don't integrate them together. I have them as separate platforms into whatever Canva template I want. Now, what happens if I take the block of text from ChatGPT and my template, it doesn't really have enough room for that? You can use Canva's magic write to condense it and rephrase it so it fits there. So that's another way that I use the two of them together. I could specifically say to ChatGPT, this block of text is too big for the template that I want. Give me, 5 words instead of 15 words. Also, ChatGPT is going to be giving you the content for not just the image, but the description that you're going to put in your social, right? So a lot of times that longer form content you will want, but then you're going to need a little nugget for the post that you're creating. Then you're going to pick images, or maybe you have images in your library, icons, your brand's color palette. Double check for that consistency and then make sure it reflects your brand. And then you can export that into either Canva has a scheduler, or you can schedule to your social or video content on your own. So I see a couple of raised hands. If you have questions, please post it in chat. That would be great. Let's see. How can you be sure the template you select is unique? You cannot. Templates are open to everybody. So in Canva, the templates are available for you to use. They are available for everybody else to use. There are no unique to you templates unless you are creating something from scratch on your own. Okay. All right. So let's talk about mastering your prompts for AI, right? Because remember, what you type in for AI, that's your prompt. Be as detailed and concise as you can. Clearly state your content goal for that prompt, right? I tend to not give it a lot of different things because it will give you all those answers, but then it's kind of all mixed up together. Give it, again, your target audience, the desired tone that you want it in, and format. So when I say format, is it a blog post? Is it a video script? Is it a social media description? Is it a headline for an email? Is it an email? But let the AI know what you want. The more context and specifics you provide, so much better the output's going to be. Then you're going to also give it the length of that content that you want, key topics and keywords, and you can even ask it for suggestions for key topics and keywords, and required sections. Is this say an email that you want to make sure that there are bullet points covered? Is this a video script that you want to have maybe 5 different sections. You're going to give it all of that information, even the elements that you want in there. Is it going to be just a voiceover if it's a video? Is it going to be 2 people talking? The more specific you can get it, you will be amazed at the content you will get out of it. I do like to use bullet points even in my prompt to give it maximum clarity on what I'm asking for. Then you're going to iterate and refine. AI is not a mind reader, it is a partner with you. Start with a broad prompt and then use follow-up prompts to refine and expand and adjust the tone or correct any inaccuracies in that initial response. But again, even on that broad initial prompt, it could be, I need a social media video for my company. I want to post something about the coming new year. That's pretty broad. Then you're going to fine tune, fine tune, fine tune. But there will be so much great stuff in there that you can use. All right. Now, connecting ChatGPT and Canva, as I said, I don't connect them, I use them together. So I bridge that gap because I can't get everything I get in ChatGPT and Canva, and vice versa. Obviously can't get the templates and styling in ChatGPT. So this is how I use them together. I directly copy the text that I've gotten from ChatGPT and I paste it into Canva. And then I can leverage Magic Write to instantly format it. Like I said, if you have a little block of text and what you got from ChatGPT is bigger, you can use Magic Write to condense that. Absolutely. It will summarize it, or it can expand that text to fit your chosen visual layout. Then I use ChatGPT to help generate descriptions for images and icons and graphic elements. A lot of times I'll say, what kind of image would I use for this post, or what kind of icons would work? And then you can search Canva's library, or you can use those prompts to guide Canva's own text to image in their magic design. You can also have ChatGPT create icons for you or images. Again, I typically will use both and see which one I like better, because a lot of times they are wildly different. Now, I use ChatGPT for that big core message. Then I ask it to adapt that message to various formats. For example, a tweet, different than a blog post, much more limit on your character count. A blog summary, presentation bullet points, but again, it's going from your core message. Then apply those very tailored text to Canva's amazing resources of templates. So that's what I would do, as opposed to asking Magic Write to make things shorter. But totally up to you. You could try both. If I know that I have a image in Canva and I really just need a headline, I will say, because I will ask ChatGPT for the the social media description. So it's going to give me what I'm putting in the description, but you still need an image, but maybe that image just has a headline. I will ask for a headline for that particular post. And then Chat is going to handle that tone and messaging, and you're going to ensure the visual consistency with Canva. And I absolutely do recommend that you have a brand kit so that your fonts and your logos and your color all look the same whenever you're creating something in Canva. Now, again, going back to Magic Write, which is in Canva, you can adapt your text that you got from ChatGPT to the visuals that you pick. So Magic Write is very powerful in Canva, and it can help streamline the transition so you don't have to go back and forth. Again, I'm very comfortable doing that, but you can put that block of text into Magic Write and absolutely condense it down to fit the space for the template that you're working on. So it can format and summarize it or expand the text so it's really fitting the design needs that you are you've selected for that particular template. Let's see. Can you see examples? Yes, I'm going to go through, talking about it, and then yes, I will be going into ChatGPT and Canva. Another question, do I use ChatGPT to create video content or just Canva? Have I worked with Google Gemini for generating videos? So I use ChatGPT for the script. I do not use it to generate video content. There are so many platforms now that are starting to be good. It's up and coming. It's going to get better. Someone is asking about Google Gemini. The only AI content that I am using right now, and things always change, is from Adobe Firefly. And the only reason that is they have openly said our stuff is available for use for commercial use, businesses. I am a business. I'm assuming you all are business owners. A lot of the platforms, you can use those images for personal use or to practice with, but they are not licensed for commercial use. So again, I'm not an attorney. You need to be an advocate for your brand. You got to make sure that anything you're creating is licensed for commercial use. And it gets into those gray areas. Where did they get the, images for them to generate your stuff? So Firefly has committed to only using licensed stuff that they're training on. So that's what I use for generating any of my videos. Yes. All right. Now, I think I went the wrong way. There we go. So again, back to Magic Write. It can take your raw text to polished visual content that fits in the template. And again, we're talking about using Magic Write in Canva itself. So you can paste your ChatGPT content in, and Magic Write can reformat it to fit the existing text boxes that you might have. And this is especially useful for me if I'm working in, say, a flyer, and I just have that little box of text in, and I know what I want to say, but I want it to be formatted so it'll fit that box. And what if your design has more space? Then Magic Write can help expand those sentences or paragraphs and add a little more detail, and it maintains your original message and tone. And it definitely can do very concise summaries of longer text. So it can condense that longer text into really punchy summaries or headlines if that's what you want. And if you need a short catchy phrase or a really detailed description, Magic Write can really adjust the text length and demand. It saves you time on those manual edits because you are working right there in Canva. But again, it's there as a tool you can try to use. Myself, I have ChatGPT do it, and then I transfer it into Canva. Okay, here's a couple more ideas on elevating your content with IDs with AI. So these are going beyond the basics. So talking about that synergy between ChatGPT and content generation with the Canva templates. So visual concepting, and this I have actually really loved working with ChatGPT with this. So you've got your text, you've got your prompt, but maybe even before designing, right? Prompt ChatGPT to generate visual concepts, right? And descriptions for your Canva assets. So I've done this recently. I wanted to talk about CEO, people who are CEOs struggling to find a group of other like-minded CEOs, and the image idea that it gave, because that's really kind of vague, but it gave me a great visual of two business people. I had a man and a woman, and chiseling into a big stone, and they were chiseling something like, some questions that they would have, and they were working on a problem together. I would not, I don't think, come up with that visual, but working with ChatGPT, it was one that I liked and ended up using. It can help you define the aesthetic and the mood and the elements for images or illustrations that you're looking for, maybe in the Canva library, or you can have ChatGPT create it, or you can actually go into Canva's Magic Design, and ChatGPT can give you the prompt that can help that design create something for you. I also like to use ChatGPT for very very specific CTAs, call to actions, for your different designs. So test different wording and tones. You'll start to see which ones are going to resonate best with your audience, which ones are actually going to get some engagement and conversion rates. I mean, that's what you're looking for. You're making content for your business for a reason. So have that call to action so that you can see whether it's working or not. And what about multilingual content? Expand your reach by using ChatGPT to translate your core content into various languages. There also is a translate version in Canva itself, and you can either drop the translated text that ChatGPT has done into your Canva template, or this is one time where I think Canva does an even better job, because I can take my, say, flyer and have Canva translate it. So it's right there in Canva. The design is the same. It translates it to another language. The only, again, you're always going to have to fine tune. Caveat will be some languages, even for the same paragraph, are much longer or shorter. So you might have to work within that parameter of where your text is to make that look good. Again, like I said, it's easier. It isn't just click a button and easy done. You need to watch it and put your own experience and expertise on top of it. Let's see. All right. So here's a couple of actionable takeaways, right, from what we're talking about today. I really want you to feel like your content creation has been supercharged. So here's 3 concrete actions you can take starting today to work with these 2 great platforms together. So begin by incorporating ChatGPT for drafting your content. And you can use Canva's Magic Write for design adaptation into your daily content creation routines. Start small and scale up. And when I say start small, I mean, don't say, I'm going to do a month's worth of content today. I'm going to dive right in. Even if you did that, if you're not already ramped up for that, next month you're probably going to be, oh, that was too hard. I'm not going to do that. And the algorithms hate that. Commit to, if this is brand new to you, commit to 1 post a week. That's doable. Amp up 3, maybe get to 5. 5, you get a gold star. But get used to the process and what is working for you. Algorithms like consistency much more than you being 100% fire hose on, creating content, and then dropping off because that was exhausting. Then experiment and optimize those prompts. So continually refine the prompts. Again, prompt is what you're writing to ChatGPT. Testing different levels of detail, right? And some constraints. Put like, don't do this, don't do that. I do that every time I'm working with it so that you're getting the best content generation for that particular ask, right? And then treating, so that's called prompt engineering. And you've probably heard, oh, the biggest new, I guess it would be profession is prompt engineering. You are prompt engineering for your own business here. The more you do it, and it's a skill that you can develop for your business, ChatGPT will understand and remember from time to time. You don't have to start from scratch every time. Absolutely maintain that brand consistency using Canva's brand kit to ensure that all your AI content, all the content you're handwriting, whatever it is, aligns perfectly with your brand and your guidelines for a cohesive look and feel across all the different platforms. Okay, couple of things, and we're going to dive into Canva and ChatGPT. You do need a social media strategy. And that is something that you can ask ChatGPT for. Because if you're making random posts and you don't have a goal for it, you could be missing the mark. So I like to ask ChatGPT for a social media strategy for a set amount of time. If you're just starting, do it for 1 month. If you're kind of getting your feet under, then do a 3-month strategy. You can work up 6 months. You can do a year. But if you do a year, it doesn't give you a lot of leeway to pivot if you need to. So I like to go month by month. And for clients, a lot of times I will do a 3 month. But that gives me the flexibility to see what's going on in the world. Things are changing a lot, right? Maybe there's new tools we want to use. It gives me flexibility. But I would start with a month and have ChatGPT work with you to create that strategy itself. Because you need to understand that funnel. First, they have to see you as your brand, be aware of that. Your social media reinforces that. And then I want them to go to the hub of your business, which is your website. Again, you're starting with the top level funnel, brand awareness, and social media can work for that. I think social media is the best thing that you can use to get people to start seeing your brand and recognize it. So here's a quick example. This is one of my clients. They are an IT firm. This is their website, right? The website should be the hub of your business. Their social and their email marketing and their any kind of collateral pieces all look like their website. That is branding that is consistent across platforms. I create a content calendar with the images and the what I'm going to put in the description. And again, I work with ChatGPT to create these things. Then that you can see it at a glance, whether this is for a month. I typically work with per month for something like this, but you can see it as a glance. Make sure that it's looking good together as a set. Moving beyond awareness, that's when your call to action becomes really important. And don't forget to cross promote if you are on multiple social channels. Really, who your audience is, are they on multiple? You want to be able to be posting on all of them. And you can absolutely make vertical videos into horizontal. You can do all of that in Canva. All right, so let's get into Canva itself. Now, just so you know, I made this presentation and presented it in Canva itself. So Canva has a lot of great uses. Somebody's asking about, okay, so what about translate? How would you do that? So I speak Spanish very little, so I could not proofread that, but I have an associate that does. So for translation, you still have to have somebody look at it. Again, you got to put your own experience and expertise on it, because if you don't speak that language, you won't be able to test. I have always had it be pretty darn good, but I would not be putting something out that reflects your brand or your business without having human eyes double check on something as important as a translation. Absolutely. All right, so how we would start in ChatGPT. So here's where I am going to ask for volunteers. Post in chat. Any of you post in chat. Let me know what type of industry you're in. And I'm going to show you step by step how I would start with that. So let me have somebody start typing away, post in chat. Let me know what type of industry that you're in. Okay, perfect. First one that comes up is fitness. So I'm going to start with longer form content. So I'm going to say, please write me. I'm going to put a LinkedIn article about the current trends for fitness, both in-home and at a gym. So pretty general, but let's see what the article comes up like. Fitness from living rooms to gym floors. What's trending now? That's pretty perfect, right? And we got that in seconds. So it gives you an amazing amount of content here. Hybrid fitness, technologies redefining the workout experience, home fitness, tech continues to grow. This is incredible content. There's your long form content. Then remember what I said, start with long form. You say, okay, so I'm going to say, great. Now, please, a social media post for number 1. Remember, I liked all of it, but that first nugget, I want to turn that into a social media post. Fitness trend number 1. Hybrid workouts are here to stay. The biggest shift in fitness right now, people aren't choosing home workouts or the gym anymore. They're doing both. Great content. Hybrid workouts are here to stay. That's my headline. So I'm like, okay, good to go. Of course, you're going to refine it and make sure it's appropriate for your business, but I would now go into Canva. Hybrid workouts are here to stay. That's my headline, so I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go over here to Canva. Remember, I wanted a social media post. So I'm going to go to Canva. When you log in, you get all these little buttons. I'm going to click on social media, and I'm going to do a Facebook post. So it's going to give me a blank page. Remember, I said I don't like blank pages, so I'm going to find a template that I like. Describe your ideal design. I'm going to put home fitness. So all of a sudden, it's giving me a bunch of templates that it thinks are related to home fitness. Just pick whatever you want, right? Now, remember that we're talking about hybrid, and our fitness trend was hybrid workouts are here to stay. So I'm going to find one that I could have a couple of images on. So I'm just going to pick one. Remember, we can do anything we want. I actually saw, oh, I like this one. Let's do this. So start training. But instead of start training, I could say hybrid fitness. And I need to extend this text over a little bit. I don't even know if I spelled hybrid right. Let's make sure I spelled hybrid right. Hybrid. Perfect. All of a sudden, my post is coming together, right? You could have this guy running, you could have like lifting weights, you could do so many things here. But it worked because I had the concept and the headline already from ChatGPT. So sign up, you could put learn more. Maybe you have a blog about it on your website, right? I would absolutely put your logo on there. If you have everything in your brand kit on Canva, it's over here on the left. Here's my brand kit. Right now it's set up for Score, so we'll use the Score logo. I'm going to go in here. Perfect. Now I see that if I click on it, it drops it right in the middle, and I'm going to want it up here at the top because I like everything that's going on in the middle. So you just move it around, you grab the little circles at the end, right? Now you can see that now is in front of his face. Canva now allows you to see the different layers. Over here on the right, it says position. I can go to layers. I can see that Score, the logo, is on top of this guy's head. I want his head on top of the logo. So I'm just going to pull this logo down below. Look at that. That looks so much better. That's how easy it is to incorporate both of them. Now, the rest of that text that ChatGPT gave us would be in the body, the content, the description for this social media post. Somebody's saying, can you have multiple brand kits on Canva? Absolutely. I have my own brand kit and I have Scores because I do a lot of work for Score, and I need their logos and colors at the same time. Now, if I went back over to brand, and I'm going to go text, brand kit, you can see the Score is here. I also have Harmony 3 Productions, which is mine. And now all of a sudden I have my colors and my logo. So if I wanted to put my logo on there, I would just click it and there it is. But both of them are in Canva. You can have multiple brand kits, yes. Okay, any quick questions? Otherwise, I'm going to start looking at another, okay. Aviation marketing. Now, you might say, wow, that's very, very specific. Yes. But it also could be consulting. It could be what anybody who has a service business, absolutely. So let's go back to ChatGPT. So I'm going to go, thanks. Now, social media posts for a company that does aviation marketing. Let's see what it comes up with. a LinkedIn style. And it chose LinkedIn as opposed to, say, TikTok, because it knows aviation marketing is probably going to be reaching a different level of audience. Aviation marketing is evolving. Is your brand keeping up? In today's aviation landscape, standing out takes more than great engineering or cutting edge technology. It takes clear storytelling, strategic visibility, and trust over time. Only you will know whether this is working for your brand, but you can see what two wildly different types of brands. I can go into ChatGPT and get what I'm looking for is either specific content type or a content calendar. All right, so let's see here. Let's see. How do you provide citations and credits for what ChatGPT comes up with to avoid plagiarism? Again, not an attorney, but if ChatGPT is giving you quotes, you can ask it for, where is it pulling those sources from? I often ask it because maybe it gives me something that sounds really good. I'm like, I want to make sure this is not plagiarized. And are you coming up with this original content? And it has always assured me that it is. Again, do I trust it? No. So a lot of times, especially longer form content, say for blogs or websites, I will run it through a plagiarism checker. I use Grammarly. There's many of them out there, and I have not had any problems. But again, these are great questions to be concerned about for it's your brand's reputation. So take those extra steps to double check for yourself. Because like I said, it's going to tell you, no, I'm not plagiarizing. I'm like, yeah, right. So I always check. I do always check. Okay. Any privacy or security concerns when customer or client info is used? Yes. And that is why I always say I don't put any proprietary information into ChatGPT. Just bottom line, I don't do it. If you have general information that you can upload and then you can fine tune it out of chat, that's what I recommend. Yes. Okay. Let's see. I saw a couple more. All right. So I see private chef and catering. All right. Now remember, I said the other thing that I definitely would recommend is getting that month marketing content calendar and strategy. So I'm going to say, great. I'm always polite to it because you never know. When they take over the world, I want them to remember I was polite. Okay. Now, I need a content strategy for 1 month. Again, I'm being specific, for a private chef. I don't even worry about spelling things correctly because it knows. Okay. Let's see. I was very general. Need a 1 month content strategy, private chef and catering company. Perfect for a strong visual story-driven content strategy. Below is a 1 month content media strategy designed for Instagram and LinkedIn with easy crossover to Facebook. It balances credibility, appetite appeal, relationship building without feeling salesy. This sounds great to me. Primary goal: build trust and credibility, show expertise and personality, drive inquiries for private events and catering, stay top of mind for referrals. Core content pillars: behind the scenes and your process, food stories, menu highlight. You can do this no matter what your industry is. You can ask ChatGPT for that month of content strategy. Tells you posting rhythm, 3 to 4 posts a week, 1 to 2 short form videos, 1 static post or carousel. Week 1, meet the chef, connection first. Intro video, the chef's on camera. Hi, I'm your name. Private chef and caterer. I don't just cook meals, I create experiences. Planning a special event? Let's talk. Pretty darn simple. Post 2, behind the scenes photo. Mise en place, prep table. This is where every great meal starts. Prep, precision, and a lot of love. Call to action: save this post. It is walking you through step by step a actual content calendar for a month. And like I said, you can do this for whatever industry you're in. With the video, You can make the video, take that into Canva, use one of their video templates, brand it with your logos. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, I see a couple more questions here. So ChatGPT, I think it's a question, does ChatGPT have the equivalent of a brand kit you use for different businesses? How do you specify what business you're working on? So I use folders in ChatGPT. So in Chat, you can make different, what they call projects. I have projects for each of my clients. Each client has its own tone of voice, right? So it's kind of a brand kit. It's not colors and fonts, but you could tell it, these are the colors and fonts. It knows, I have multiple folders. It knows each client in those folders extremely well, how their tone of voice is, which is wildly different than mine at Harmony 3. It can separate those out. Do you have to use the folders? I didn't before, and it worked great. But once they came up with folders, that's great, because then it knows everything in that folder is related to that particular business account. So yes, I would consider that a brand kit in ChatGPT. Okay, all right. So let's go back over into templates for Canva, because I just wanted to show you where the video ones. You can make a video out of any template in Canva, but if you start with the video template, it's much easier because there are scenes at the bottom. And I just want to show you quickly where to find those and what they're going to look like. So the little video circle icon here is a shortcut. I click on that. So everything it's going to give you here is a video. So again, you just start looking at anything that you like. If you hover your cursor over it, you'll get typically you get a couple of ideas what it's going to look like here. I'm just going to pick this one here. All right, so if you click play on this, you see it's an actual little video. Somebody is coming in with a computer and it says a day in my life. Now this could work for that initial one we said about the chef. If we go back here to this intro video, planning a special event, you could say, I don't just cook meals, I create experiences. Now that could be what the chef is saying, but it also could be here for this video. And I would separate that out because I like how they had the two different fonts. And again, you extend them out so that they work for the platform that you're using. And take out this dash. Perfect. And then it could be over the chef talking, but just for an example here, I'm going to put, and I'm going to look for videos of a chef. And I'm going to drag this in, and it's going to replace the image, right? So here we've got a chef. It says, I don't just cook meals, I create experiences. If this is your video for you, I would absolutely have that be a video of you. The other thing is you see that the text is not really showing up because he's got a white coat on. So you could do something as simple as bringing over a rectangle to put the text on. Let's see, so we want, I want a graphic, and I just want a rectangle. And we can make this, what color? We'll make it gray. And you could pull this up. Just so that you can read the text a little bit easier. And then you could even make it a little more transparent. Perfect. And now you can see the text quite a bit easier. You can even use effects to put a little highlight under that text, and now you can read it a little bit better. Perfect. Okay, we have a minute left. Are there any other questions now? Someone's saying, in ChatGPT, are separate folders you create in chat for your clients considered proprietary since it's their business related? So nobody else sees those folders except for me. These are projects that I am working on for my clients, right? So they are, again, I don't put any proprietary information in those folders, right? This is, I'm creating my social media plan for them. I'm creating content for them, but there's nothing proprietary that I put in there. Again, I would, if that had to go in a specific place, I would put it in after I got the prompt from ChatGPT. Okay. Wow, that went fast. It's 11 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining me. I love these sessions. Again, I'd love to connect with you. Let me put my LinkedIn in chat. And as I said, on LinkedIn, I am under Ronnie Ramus. I just put that in chat. Thank you so much. I would love to connect with you. I'd love to see what you're doing. And I really hope to see you at another SCORE webinar very, very soon. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Ronnie. Have a great holidays.
Thank you so much.
Bye.